Going, yes, we are going. Marvellous. Top, and there we go. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. It's been a while, I know, but I have been ridiculously busy over the past few weeks, and it's been rather chaotic. I know I said I was going to get some done last week, but I won't say a last minute, but a thing popped up, and the thing took a bit of priority, and then after that I just lost the enthusiasm to get things done, and there we go. But enough of my life dilemmas. Hello and welcome, and we are back for round 9 of the WRX Challenge. Now, you probably know what the WRX is all about, is where we take the Subaru Isle of Man TT Time Attack car and we put it through all the elements available in different styles of races, the triple sprints, the double features, and the endurance race. And for round 9, we are at the Nürburgring, if the big sign there wasn't a dead giveaway, and the person at the top there looking very enthusiastic for this race, and I guess there's this guy right here as well. Yes, very enthusiastic. So we are at the Nürburgring, and it is a double feature today, so we're going to get 2 half-an-hour races. And from what I can tell, I'll give away, it is a bit wet, so this is going to be rather interesting. We'll come down here now that you've seen the big sign. You guess where we are, so we'll get into position ready. You can see the lights ready for you, and the crowd is completely packed. So we're going to have a double feature, 30-minute races in the wet, I believe, and it's going to be quite the juicy one. So in the double feature, they're going to have a 10-minute qualifying, which they've already done, as you could probably tell by now, in which it will be the fastest first from a standing start, in which they have a free choice of softs, mediums, intermediates, and wets, in which I think is going to be the call of the day at the moment. And the mandatory tyre is the mediums, intermediates, or wets, and they have to be used at least once per race. Well, I don't think an issue with the mandatory tyre this week, so that's not going to be an issue there. Then for race 2, it's going to be the reverse result of race 1 with a standing start, and once again you get a choice of softs, mediums, intermediates, and wets, with the mandatory tyre being mediums, intermediates, and wets. And I think race 2 is going to be wet as well, so that's going to be not an issue, I believe, today. So how's the table going? Well, now they're at round 9, we now have a drop score, so I'm just going to go straight to the drop table, purely because of the fact of that's the one that counts. So at the moment, still standing high on the top is Homesick Alien with 331 points. I think it's going to be safe to say that Season 6 of the WRX Challenge is going to go back to the mothership. So I'm sure he's going to be pleased with that one, as I don't think he's going to be able to lose it now. So I think it's safe to say that, but we never know. It could still happen. We just never know. So Homesick Alien currently leading. In second is Skyjacker on 267 points. In third, we have Bunny on 258 points. In fourth, we have Big Dan on 252 points. In fifth, we have Koi Carp on 220. Sixth is Guesty on 219 points, just 1 point separating them. Wow, that's incredible. It's a good fight going on there between Koikarp and the Guesty. In seventh, we have Rido on 211 points. In eighth, we have Bazza on 194 points. Ninth is the outgoing champion of Anton Poika on 166 points. In 10th is Harvey on 161 points. In 11th, we have Mrs. Guesty on 146 points. 12th, we have Pat on 139 points. 13th is Perchon with 77 points. 14th is Jokers on 48. 15th is Thingamajig on 37. Kindfoot is in 16th on 22 points, and Norca's still not scored, which I don't think is going to be turning up at this point in the championship. So, with that hotting up and the qualifying complete, how did it all settle out? Well, you've probably slightly given it away when adjusting the camera after the delightful yet not delightful intro that I've done, and let us have a look. And as we can see, it is wet and we have a bit of a small crowd here today, but let's not put that down. Having a small grid doesn't make it bad, it just makes it, I find it a little bit more fun, a little bit less chaotic. But as we can see, Homesick Alien, the championship leader, possibly the new crown champion, is on pole. Then in second we have Big Dan. He's got off to a good start. He'll be wanting to keep up that good run. And in third we have Skyjacker doing very well there. In fourth we have Mr. Guesty doing quite well in fourth there. Then in fifth is Rido. He'll be pleased with that one. In sixth, we have Mrs. Guesty, and at the back is the Koi of Carp. You'd think he'd be in his element, being the Koi that he is. He might be a bit of a fan of wet weather, but it appears that he's not comfortable with the wet. But how are this going to turn out? So, let's get this fun fest on the go. So, we'll give it a quick rewind. We'll set everything up ready. That's good, and we are good to go. So, carnage at the Nürburgring. Oh, it's the Nürburgring GP, it's not the full one, which is probably a blessing to some, definitely to me. Oh, well, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll have a good, so, you can see that Homesick Alien is starting on the intermediates. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Big Dan on the intermediates, Skyjacker on the intermediates. Guesty's gone full wets, Rido's gone full wets, Mrs. Guesty's gone full wets, and Koi is on the medium. So, we have a mixed grid of wet weather tyres, but which one is the correct one? We shall have to see. As the lights come out, they give the engines the full beans, and oh, that's Guesty jumping the start. That's not the start he wants. He's going to be slow off the grid, and off we go, and Big Dan gets a lightning start from second place, and so does Skyjacker as well. Homesick Alien dropping down to fourth already, and Rido's come to join the party. Wowzers, what a start. But then again, Homesick Alien pretty much hasn't got much to lose at the moment, and Koikarp's benefited that from, well, they on the intermediates. No, Rido's on the full wet, so it's not the tyre at the moment, but that's going to be interesting to see. As you can see, they're really struggling in the wet conditions, and Skyjacker comes out of nowhere and is the bowling ball, and poor Rido is the pin, and he's struggling to get back on the track, and there we go, he's off and going. So Big Dan taking the lead early in this race. Let's not forget it's half an hour, so is Big Dan going to be able to keep up this form of pace? That's going to be great to see here. The back end kicking out, really struggling to get the power down. Skyjacker's still holding off in second. We've got Homesick Alien now up to third after the slight coming together with Skyjacker and Rido, but he's having a look around the outside of the Alien, but he's struggling to slow it down. Is he going to invite Koi to come through? No, Koi can't find his way through. Mr. Guesty, the jump in the start has put him all the way back down into sixth, and Mrs. Guesty really struggling in this wet weather conditions. She's probably not a fan of the wet weather, and really, who could blame her? Oh no, Big Dan's gone wide. We caught it just as it happened. Big Dan going wide, and Skyjacker now takes the lead. So wow, we've had 3 leaders in the lap already. Homesick Alien from pole jumping down to 3rd. Big Dan managed to squeeze his way through, and now Skyjacker is taking the lead. And is this a sign of things to come? You can see there's just no grip out there whatsoever. Even the intermediates are struggling, but as we can see on the big barn, Koikart comes barreling through. Luckily, they missed everybody. I hope it doesn't reset him. No, it does not, and he manages to hang on, but now Guesty's tight behind him as they come through the final corner. Guesty's got the inside. You'd think it's going towards Guesty's ways. Koikart trying to cut with the cutback, and that's Big Dan still struggling to put the power down, and it just gives you an idea of how treacherous it is out there. Really struggling. Rito's dropped down as well, so he must have had a small off at some point, because he was fighting Homesick Alien. And speaking of Homesick Alien, he is now in 2nd, probably from that Big Dan going wide in the final corner. So now Homesick Alien can just concentrate on catching down Skyjacker. Can he catch him though? Because Skyjacker has got a small lead at the moment. As I was saying before, if we all look at the tyres, there's a little blue bar to the left of them, which indicates on how wet the track is. You can see it's up to 2 bars, which indicates that it is full wet conditions. So the intermediates are probably going to struggle around here, but at the moment they seem to be holding off quite well. So either the intermediates is the tyre to go to, or I have absolutely zero knowledge when it comes to tyres conditions thing. And Guesty's come up to 3rd. Big Dan, after the lightning start he had, is now struggling, and even Coy's having a look on the inside of Big Dan. It's all falling apart from Big Dan. He had such a tremendous start, and it's just all fallen away from him. You can just see the back end just not happy in those conditions, but we know that Big Dan likes to drift around the corners a little bit, and I think this might be taking it a little bit to the extreme. As you can see, he just can't get the car slowed down. Really struggling in these horrible conditions, and you've got to think maybe Big Dan were wishing that he could restart all over again because of that lightning start he had, and just think, yep, that'll do us. That's the race done. We'll just call it at that. Koikart still keeping up with Big Dan, probably waiting for a small mistake. You can see the scrolling under the brakes. The Subaru really not happy in these conditions whatsoever. And all credit to them, they're managing to keep it on the track for now. Although Big Dan will probably argue that statement, as he's been taking it wide a fair amount of times, but in these conditions it's hardly a surprise. Rito still holding on. He's starting to catch up that battle between Big Dan and Koikart, so maybe he fancies a piece of this as well. And Mrs. Guesty struggling at the back there, but it's still going to be a good haul of points in 7th, as with the small crowd nobody's here. So at the moment, Skyjacker appears to be the man in control. He's got the fastest lap. We're only on lap 3, so Skyjacker's found some form of secret ways of wet weather racing that nobody's yet discovered, as he's doing quite well at the moment. Homesick Alien keeping him honest though. He wanted to track him down, but I don't think he has much to lose at the moment, so he's probably just taking it nice and easy, making sure very little mistakes happen that will cost him big in his championship. Guesty now starting to find his form as well after the horrible start, and as soon as I said it, he's got into the kitty litter, but he's straight back out of it. That's just how hard. You can see it drifting left and right and centre. Subaru not liking wet conditions either. You see on Guesty's car, it's got Monster inside, but unfortunately the Monster cannot be tamed in wet weather conditions. Coy's now moved up to 4th. He's got ahead of Big Dan, so maybe he can start putting the power down, and as we can see, I don't know what to call it, the amount of wet on the track, damp, amount of standing water. Well, you can see the bar is starting to go down, and this is where the intermediates will start to take effect. So those on the wet weather tyres, they're going to suffer very soon because they'll start to overheat, and then they're going to have problems. But I think Rito's on the full wets, as is Mrs. Guesty, so those two will struggle. I'm sure there was somebody else as well. Oh, it's Guesty. So, and as you can see, Koikap is actually catching up Guesty. So those intermediate tyres, and we can see Koikap's just taken the fastest lap with a 2:19. So we can see that the intermediate tyres are now starting to get into their working area. And the chaps and lady on the wet are really going to struggle here on in unless the rain continues down, which I can't actually see that their wipers are going. So that means that it's no longer raining, so the track is just going to get drier and drier. The guys on the intermediates are the ones that are going to actually benefit from this, but tell that to Big Dan, who loves a bit of a drifting. He likes tricky conditions, but the tricky conditions don't like him. As you can see, he's now catching up to Koikart. Even he's getting purple, so you can tell that the intermediates are now starting to find a comfortable zone. It's just a case of gathering in the wet weather drivers. We'll have a look at Koikap at the moment. This seems to be the best battle on track, as we can see. And Guesty really starting to struggle. Are those wets now starting to struggle in the drying out conditions? And Koi's still going faster. I assume everybody's all going faster on the intermediates, but Koi just can't find a way around Guesty, and Big Dan's going to have a look at Koikap, but he can't quite afraid through. Is he going to have a look on the inside? He thinks better of it. Tucks back inside, and that's waiting for another. Oh God, I am struggling with words. It's been a long day. It's been a long day, and funnily enough, I've been at work, so mentality of the brain has disappeared. And as we can see, Big Dan got a massive launch out of that corner and has overtaken Koikap, so he's now moved up to fourth. Maybe he can find a way past Guesty as they slow right down for that corner. It's just showing you how tricky it is. No, Guesty's managed to find a small gap, but you can see the car just does not want to find any form of grip. And those wet weather tyres are going to start to struggle in. He'll need to cool them down, otherwise they'll start to overheat and he'll really start feeling it then. Let's have a quick look on the leader so far. Skyjacker still seems to hold a lead, but we can see his wipers are going. He's the only one that is. In fact, we can have a look here. As you can see, there doesn't seem to be any rain coming, so my guess is that the track is still drying out. The intermediate's still holding on for now. I guess these, speaking of holding on, there was a bit of a bang there from Big Dan. See him redressing because he knew he was in the fault there. Guesty still manages to hold on for third, and Guesty's now having to fight Koikap, and Koikap's now having to fight Big Dan, and Big Dan squeezes his way through on the inside. So the battle for third at the moment really heating up in the wet conditions. As you can see, the bar is nearly down to a quarter, which would mean that the intermediates will start to struggle soon, but the question is, who's going to be the bravest of the brave and pull the dry tyre tactics? We can see Guesty's really struggling. Oh no, Koikap's gone wide. He's had to really slow the car down to avoid the gravel. He's lost track of those two now, and Rito's starting to catch them up, even though he is on the wet, which will be starting to feel the pain. He's now starting to catch them up. Koikap's having to dig deep to find the gap between them, and Big Dan can't find his way past Guesty neither. They're all getting purples at this point, but the track is drying out, so you feel that the faster laps are going to come. In fact, the sun's starting to come out now here over the glorious Always comes through the Nürburgring, and oh, there we go. Big Dan just can't find his way through. Guesty's still holding off on the inside, but he's not going to find much grip out there in the drying wet. And there we go. Big Dan moves up into third, and Kuykart takes advantage of it as well and goes up into fourth. As we can see, the track is now starting to dry out. As I was saying earlier, the sun is now starting to appear through the clouds here in Germany. And oh no, Kuikart's gone too deep. The wet, the intermediates can't find much grip through that corner, and he slips back down into fifth, and Guesty goes up into fourth. So Big Dan survives that struggle there. Guesty's really going to have to think of some clever strategy now. The wets aren't going to be holding off for much longer. And who's going to be the bravest to pull the trigger, I wonder, when it comes to dry tyres, or are they holding on? Are they holding on? Maybe they think that more wet weather will be coming. And if it does, how much as well? Because if it absolutely throws it down, you feel that Guesty will be the one back with the advantage, but at the moment it's advantage intermediates. Homesick Alien still he has caught up Skyjacker a little bit, but there's still a decent gap. Even Homesick Alien is absolutely struggling in these wet conditions. As you can see, Guesty's still fighting. Kuykart for fourth. Here's Rito as well. He's starting to lose track of those guys ahead of him. So the wet's now starting to struggle with the lack of grip, and Mrs. Guesty as well. She's fallen quite a fair way back from that small little pack there. I wonder if she might be brave and put on the soft tyres. It does appear to be dry enough. I think it would be dry enough to put on dry tyres now, but unfortunately I don't have access to the weather radar, which these guys will probably be looking at. You can see Skyjacker going far on the inside to keep those intermediates cooled down. They'll start overheating very shortly now that the track is starting to dry out with the dry patch. They'll be wanting to keep them intermediates on for as long as possible if more rain is due. But if things continue on the way they are, even the intermediates are going to start to struggle as well. You can see Big Dan now fighting Kuykart. He's had to go deep onto the inside. Koi's going far on the outside. It appears it's still advantage Big Dan. There we go. He still holds off fourth, third. This fight for the last step of the podium is really heating up now that the heat is coming down. But the question is, for how long? Ooh, it's tantalizing stuff. We don't know when the rain is going to come. Some of these guys may know, we do not. Ooh, the mysteries of the universe. Is rain coming, and when? Kuykart still having to fight Big Dan for that third place. I think he's... Oh no, Big Dan's gone wide. Oh dear, Kuykart takes advantage of it and goes up into third, but Big Dan's having to have a fighting back for it. And here we go. The fight between these two has been pretty much race long. And they're still going at it side by side through the Schumacher S's. Brave stuff. As Kuykart still hangs off in third. Holding off Big Dan for the time being, but how long can he hold him off? I'm surprised Guesty is actually able to keep up with him, because those wets are really going to be crying in anger and pain from the drying out track. Probably hoping that the rain does turn back up. As you can see, the wets are really starting to burn themselves out now, as they've still got a little bit of meat left on them, but the drier it stays, the more they are going to be punished. Let's have a look at the front so far though. Homesick Alien still fighting off second in Skyjacker, still going quite well in this race. Are we going to see a Skyjacker win? I don't think he's won a race so far in the WRX Season 6. I'm not 100% sure. I shall have a nosy. I don't think he has. Oh, he has. He has, I do apologise. Yes, it was in the dirt at Colorado Springs. He won race 2 and 3. My apologies, Sir Sky. So he does have 2 wins in this season already. As you can see, Jose Alien has managed to catch up just a little bit. He's able to find a little bit more pace in the drying conditions in the intermediates. So he's Jose Alien going to pull the trigger on Skyjacker, and still again, are we going to see a dry tyre move, I wonder? Let's have a look at this battle down here still. Koikap still holding out in third. Big Dan not that far behind. As we can see, the guest is struggling for grip. Oh, my apologies, I got a disconnection there. And, oh, yes, as I was saying, Guesty really struggling to find the grip with those wet tyres. We can see that the bar's really below the first one now, so it's perfect conditions for the soft tyres, and yet none of them are pulling the trigger. They must know something that we do not. As you can see, the leaders are not pulling in either. We'll keep with these guys for the time being because this is for the lead of the race. With these guys not coming in, my guess is there is more rain to come. As you can see, very interesting there. Skyjacker going wide to keep his tyres cool, and Jose Alien staying on the drier patch, and it nearly worked out for him, but not quite enough. But he has closed the gap on Skyjacker, so this is for the lead here at round 9, the WRX Challenge at the Nürburgring. Oh, he closes up there, then tail to nose. It's Jose Alien looking for a small gap to make his way through. He just can't quite get the power down. Skyjacker holds out for the time being. Jose Alien really making Skyjacker having to work hard. Jose Alien currently having the fastest lap with a 2 of 4.8. That's going to be more points going back to Camp Alien. More points for his championship. Not that he needs any more because he's pretty much sealed it, but we'll still have to wait and see. We'll cut back to those later on. As we can see, Koikap still holding off in third, doing a quite the incredible job. Big Dan still keeping him honest, making him work hard for it. And credit to Guesty as well. He's really punishing those wets pretty much as much as you could possibly think of. You can see those wets are really starting to lose their edge, and I have a feeling they're not going to last much longer. He's doing his best to keep them cool, but it's not going to work that much longer. And I wonder if Guesty's going to be the first one to pull the trigger. Haven't seen Rito for a while. He's still doing his 6th. I do apologise. He's all on his lonesome at the moment, but with the lack of bodies on the grid at the moment, 6 is going to be a good haul of championship points for him, as well as Mrs. Guesty. She's probably not enjoying this in the slightest, but 7th, that's a good chunk of points for her in her championship fights as well, with everybody around her. So I'm sure she'll be pleased with the good point haulage. That's the word I'm looking for. Meanwhile, still at the front, Skyjacker still holding off Jose Alien. What an absolute brick wall of a defence that Skyjacker has built up. Jose Alien just cannot seem to find his way past the Monster Energy cladded Subaru of Skyjacker. We often see this combination of colour from Sky. It's a very familiar colour, we all know it. It's really proving dividends today, really giving Monster something to be proud about. Their main man Sky holding off Jose Alien as best as he can. To think that maybe there is more rain coming, because even though the track is completely, well, the drying line is near enough completely dried out. Oh, Skyjack had a snap of oversteer then. He did well to recover it, but the dry racing line ever becoming ever more present, and yet they still don't pit, so there must be more wet weather on the way. And I think the sun has disappeared as well. Is that a sign? Is that a sign of things coming? You can see it's getting a bit murky. Coming up to the chicane down here, it's getting darker and darker by the second. Maybe rain is expected. Do they pull the trigger now? No, they do not. So surely there must be more rain coming, as anybody should have pitted by now if that wasn't the case. That is my guess. Oh man, big, looking back here, Big Dan's now got up to third. What has happened to Coy? Coy just got the fastest lap. Previous lap with a 2:04.2 compared to Dan's 2:05.3. I don't quite know what has happened, but he must have made a small mistake with it. Oh, mind you, I don't know. 2:06.8. I'm not 100% sure, but we missed it as we were watching Jose Alien battle Skyjacker for the lead, and unfortunately we missed this overtake with Big Dan taking over Coy. So my apologies there, chaps. And now we've got a battle for first and a battle for third. We'll have to definitely keep our eye on it. As we can see, the Guesty's completely dropped off those two. Those wets really starting to give up the ghost now. You see the grey clouds in the background, they're looming. That must be a sign of there's more rain to come. Must be what they're holding out for, but you have to wonder, by the time that the rain has come, they're probably not going to have much tyre left, so they'll have to pit at some point. Rito as well, still holding off in 7th, still all by his lonesome. Mrs. Guesty still holding off in 7th. Did I say Rito was in 7th? He's in. I don't know why I keep thinking he's in 7th. I think it's my brain just going, no, we're done for the day, go to bed, why are you doing this? Not gonna lie, I've had an absolute nightmare at work all week. Absolute nightmare. You know, when they ask you to do the absolute impossible, thinking, you can do this, you've got this. Speaking of getting this, Jose Alien having a look at Skyjacker, but he still can't find a way through. The brick wall of Skyjacker appearing impenetrable for Jose Alien. He can't seem to find a way through. Skyjacker has an answer for everything that Jose Alien throws at him. Skyjacker really bringing the heat in the damp conditions here in Germany. Jose Alien going round the outside, he just can't seem to find a way through. Skyjacker really having to make Jose Alien fight for this lead, really making him work hard for it. We'll have a quick look down here as we can see that Coy and Big Dan are still scrapping it out for third as well, but we'll stick with these guys for the time being because this is for the lead. And we definitely don't want to see a change in the lead. And as I thought I heard it, there we can see the raindrops have arrived. So it is now starting to rain again. And huzzah, I actually called it right. A Skyjacker's gone a little bit too deep. Did the rain catch him out? Maybe, I wonder. I'm not 100% sure, but the rain has come back. But how long is it going to hold out for? Because everybody else's wipers are going. It's just the Jose Aliens isn't. Trying to throw me off. Oh, he nearly went into the back of Skyjacker there. Great not to run into the back of him there. As you can see, they're tail to nose again. Jose Alien giving Skyjacker absolutely everything. He's throwing pretty much the kitchen sink at him as well, but he still can't find a way through. Oh, he's late on the brakes. There was a bit of a nudge there, I did see it, but Skyjacker not fazed by it much, just carries on as normal. Probably giving off a big statement to Jose Alien, saying, come on, if this is all you've got, I can take it. I can take this. I've had worse from you. This isn't your best. Come on, give me all you've got. I've got this. As you can see, the rain is now starting to absolutely pour it down. Still in. Oh, Skyjacker's gone a little bit deep. He's gone too wide. Is that all Homesick Alien needs? He still can't find a way through. Or is he through now? He's just hanging on, and there we go. Homesick Alien now retakes the lead. But he's gone deep as well, as Skyjacker capitalising from it. The back and forth of these two. But Homesick Alien nearly parked up there. Oh my word. So there we go. Homesick Alien now retakes the lead, but Skyjacker's having a look on the inside. Oh, not sure if there was a bit of a argy-bargy there. I think Skyjacker's dropped off a little bit, but no, here he comes again. Here he comes again. They've been side by side nearly enough this entire lap. Skyjacker, that's way too deep, my friend. Even I could tell that. And Homesick Alien says, thank you very much. That is all I need now. And there we go. Homesick Alien takes back the lead. Skyjacker just a little bit too throttle happy there. Oh, I've just seen that his fuel's starting to go off as well. Homesick Alien has got a little bit more. So Skyjacker will be pitting soon. Big Dan as well. His fuel is starting to flash, as is Coy. Guesty as well will be happy to see the rain coming down. So now we're back in the territory of the wet weather tyres. Oh, excuse me. But unfortunately, he's burnt his tyres out too much and his fuel is low. So he pretty much isn't going to get much of an advantage. His wets have nearly given up the ghost. There's not much meat left on them. So they'll be having to pit very soon. Are the leaders pitting? No, they are not. Okay, so Big Dan still holding off in third. Is he going to pit this lap? He's braking early, going on the inside to defend his line from Koikarp. He's holding off in third, and now that the wet stuff has arrived, starting to struggle with the grip again. Koikarp goes round again, as does Guesty. He feels he can get one more lap out of that fuel. Rido, his fuel is splashing. He's looked after his wets a little bit better. Oh, is that him going wide? No, he just can't put the power down. And don't hit the wall. Oh, well done, Rido, for avoiding the wall there. But I fear that he may need a change of overalls in the pits to maybe remove the stain that he's just discovered in his seat. And Mrs. Guesty's probably not all that thrilled of the rain coming back, but all you have to do is just keep it pointing in the right direction, love. That's all you need to do. Oh, as soon as I said it, the car's really struggling with the braking, and she may be going slower, but at least she's looked after those wets and her fuel as well, so she might be able to do a little bit longer than everybody else. You see, she's just teetering around at the moment. She's like, no, I'm done with this. I don't like this. That's a little bit too slow for my liking. Oh no. Oh, has she got a technical issue? Oh, no, there we go. Off she goes. Off she goes. Not quite sure what happened there. Oh, the hazards have come on. Do we have a technical issue for Miss? Oh no, because it's the finish. That's why she was waiting for the finish. Wow, there's so much going on. I completely forgot about the time. That's how broken I am today from this week. That's my excuse. It's just purely my excuse. Oh, we can see that Koikarp's managed to take over third as well. Is he stolen third at the dead end of the race? But we'll have to call back to the winner. And Homesick Alien really had to fight that one. That's probably why they haven't been pitting, because they were waiting for the race. There we go, a flash of the lights, and Homesick Alien comes home with the win. Skyjacker a hard-fought second. Blink of the lights, he'll be happy with that second. Well done, Sky. Back here as well, Koikarp's having to fight for that third all the way to the end. It's going to be a drag race to the line, as Big Dan braves it, but it doesn't pay off. Koikap comes home in third, with Big Dan coming home in fourth. Guesty as well. What a brave effort, but it just didn't pay out for him. He takes fifth. And he avoided it the previous lap, but he didn't avoid it this time. But now it doesn't matter because it's the end of the race as Rito struggling across the line. Right. Should I be expecting my P60 to come through after that complete shambles from my end? Don't give me credit to these guys taking on the wet weather like this. All credit to them, but no wonder they didn't pit, because there's only half an hour in the race. That'll be why. I think I'm getting sacked in the morning. So there we go. Homesick Alien, after the 30 minutes I should have been keeping an eye on, comes home in first. It's another win for Homesick. Skyjacker, a hard-fought second, was nearly a first, but he just proved that just a little bit too much at the hairpin, going in too deep, lost him the lead. But my God, he had to fight. Homesick had to fight for that first. He really did. All credit to Sky for that one. Coy stealing third at the end of the race. He'll be absolutely thrilled with that third, and he's been fighting Big Dan for the majority of that half an hour. Big Dan coming home in fourth. Good chunk of points for him. In fact, they're all going to get a good chunk of points for this. Guesty going with the wets. The gamble sadly didn't pay off, but still fifth. That's still going to be good points for him, as well as Rito, who sadly clouted the pit wall entry on the way round after I commended him for not doing it in the previous lap. And what I thought was the technical issue was just Mrs. Guesty waiting for the checkered flag to finish the race. And there we go. Oh dear. I really did not expect to be this. Can I say it? No, I won't. Rubbish. Oh dear. So, let's go on to race 2, because there still is a second race. There is still a second race, and I think this one is in the wet as well. So, let's just take a look. We'll quickly skip that. Don't look. Stop it. There we go. Right. Now it's going to be the reverse grid of the race 1 results. So let us have a look. Mrs. Guesty on pole. She's going with the softs. Rito with the mediums. Guesty with the mediums. Big Dan with the softs. Coy with the mediums. Skyjacker with the softs. And Homesick Alien on the mediums. Now, this is interesting because they've all gone for the dry tyres, but as we can see, or not so well see, so I will skip that, we can see it is raining. So they've oh good lord, that was my phone nearly hitting the floor there. So we can see that they've gone for the dry tyres, but it is raining. So this is going to be rather interesting. We thought race 1 was going to be chaos. I think race 2 is going to be even worse. But here we go. 5 lights. And off we go. And Rito's got a good start off the line, as he's now got the inside coming down to turn 1. Let's hope there's no carnage as we come through. Rito takes the lead. Mrs. Guesty down in second. Guesty in third. Koikap in fourth. Big Dan out of nowhere. He's come up in third. He did start in fourth. I have to remember that one. But so far, I think the rain stopped already. I can't see the wipers going. So maybe it was just a short shower. I don't know. We will have to wait and see. And so far, Rito now opening up the tap. Getting a bit of a gap between himself and Mrs. Guesty. With Mrs. Guesty in second. Big Dan in third. Got Guesty in fourth. Cap in fifth. Skyjacker still holding off in sixth. He's having a good look at the back end of coy. Is he going to pull the trigger? He's gone to the inside. Has he got the momentum? It looks like he has. And there he goes. Skyjacker is back up to 5th, leaving Homesick Alien still down in 7th. But as we can see, Rito has absolutely left him. He's pulling the hammer down. He's absolutely left him. Big Dan is now in 2nd. He'll be wanting to chase down Rito as best as he can. Guesty is up into 3rd. Mrs. Guesty is dropped to Skyjacker, who's now in 4th. And poor Mrs. Guesty is dropped down to 5th already. And is now being hounded by Homesick Alien, who has gotten ahead of Koikam. I'm not quite sure how he's managed to drop behind all the way down to last, but I'm sure there'll be a pretty good reason for it. So far, Big Dan has caught up Rito incredibly. That gap has disappeared already. And we can see that the Skyjacker having a look on the outside of Guesty, but he hasn't quite got the momentum coming out of the final corner. We'll concentrate with these two for the time being. Where did that gap disappear to? Maybe Rito had a bit of a small mistake. I'm not 100% sure, but Big Dan really caught up to the back of Rito like lightning. So, early doors, wanting to get it all over and done with. Guesty so far, we'll stick with these guys for the time being because this is for the final step of the podium. Skyjacker absolutely hounding the back of Guesty's Subaru, but he can't quite find a way through. As we can see, Big Dan is really caught up to Rito. He's tight up behind him now. Is Big Dan going to make a move? He's going tight. Oh, he lost the back end a little bit there, but it looks like he's managed to survive for now. Guesty's still holding off Skyjacker. So Skyjacker in race 1 playing defensive is now on the offense. Can he find a way past Guesty? It looks like he got the momentum coming out of the hairpin, coming through the Schumacher S's. Just can't find a way down. There we go. Oh, Homesick Alien going wide a little bit there, as did Koikap as well. Mrs. Guesty down in last, but at least it's the dry conditions, so she'll probably be a little bit happier with that. But as we can see at the front, Big Dan still hounding Rito. Is he going to pull the trigger coming up to the chicane at the end? Oh, he swings wide. Rito going heavily on the inside, protecting the inside as best as he can. Is it going to work for him? Oh, we can see the Skyjacker got ahead of Guesty going through the chicane. We caught it off camera just a little bit, but he's managed to make his way up into 3rd, and that will be the softs, because I'm sure Guesty's on the mediums. There we go. So Skyjacker really making those softs work, as well as in this case as well. Big Dan is on the softs with Rito on the mediums. Rito going defensive, coming up to the tight hairpin of turn 1. And oh, there's pretty much parts there, and you don't want to be parking there because you've got a fight right behind you, and that invites Skyjacker and Guesty into this fight as well. Rito really defended that corner as best as he could, slowing it right down. So now Big Dan has got to go from offense to defense, as he's now got to hold off Skyjacker. And Skyjacker absolutely flying in race 2. He's pretty much found his feet in race 1, and he's finding it even more with the wellies off. And he's leaving Homesick Alien for dead. Are we going to see a Skyjacker win here at Nürburgring? Oh, pardon. Bit of dust in the old throat box. You see Guesty's now starting to lose track of those guys ahead of him, but he is on the medium, so is the softs going to wear out before the end of the race? I wonder. They didn't need I don't think they need a mandatory tyre in this. I could be wrong. It may be per race, not per round. In which, if that is the case, oh, we can see the Big Dan's taking the lead. I'll tell you what, we'll go back for that one, because it is probably, wow, it was a while back. And yet, we're coming down to the hairpin before the Schumacher S's. Goes around the outside, and oh, he sneaks it up on the inside. Slips on through in the inside, and Big Dan takes the lead. Now, back to what I was saying before, if they've got to use the mandatory compound each race, And that means that these guys have got to put on the mediums at some point. Unless it rains. And we can see that Skyjacker's having a look at Rito as well. He's going around the outside using all the grip the softs give him. And there we go. Skyjacker up into second. Rito dropping down to third. But he's on the medium, so he's getting the tyre out of the way. And he's having a sneak on the inside of Skyjacker out of nowhere. Where did that come from? And Skyjacker's having a look on the inside. I can't keep up with it. Oh, I think he collided with Big Dan there. He drops back a little bit, but now Rito's having a look at Big Dan, and he goes round the outside. Can he hold it off? Oh, he just can't quite hold it off, so Big Dan holds off the lead so far. You can see they're now squirming left, right and centre, trying to avoid giving each other the toe, but it's pretty much inevitable here. You can see Guesty's having a look at the inside. Oh, whoa, what on earth happened there with Guesty? Did he try handbraking round that? I'm sorry, I'm going to have a look. Did he try handbraking round that? I don't know whether I'd be impressed or shocked. Wait for it. Does he have a... He does! He tried handbraking round it, unless he thought there was going to be an accident. I don't know. But Guesty trying something different. Kudos to you, sir, but it just didn't quite work out. But he does get all into third. So far, Big Dan holding off in the lead, and Homesick Aliens now starting to catch them up. Down in fifth, who's currently got the fastest lap at the moment. He's still going faster, but let's not forget that these two are pretty much at 4 even. Maybe down to 3 now. Probably is 4 now. And these 4 are just scrapping each other left, right and centre, and it's given Homesick Alien the chance to catch up. As you can see, Big Dan's just got a little bit of a gap between himself and Rito at the moment. And you feel that with the softs at play, he is going to be able to pull off a little bit of a lead here, but I think he still has to use the mediums. Rito in second, he's on the mediums, he's already getting it out of the way, so he could probably jump onto the softs unless the rain does come back. Guesty holding off third, but he's going to hold off Skyjacker, who's hounding him back in fourth place. Really looking left, right and centre. Skyjacker just constantly on the attack. In race 2, he was defensive for the majority of the first race. He's now playing offense in race 2 so far. I must remember to keep an eye on that timer as well. Can't do the first mistake like we did in race 1. Can't be doing that. That's no good so whatsoever. And I'm looking down, and Skyjacker takes up in third. I completely missed it because I was looking elsewhere, I will say. We'll just call it elsewhere. So far, Big Dan now taking the fastest lap of 1:57.5. He's now pulled a bit of a gap between himself and Rito, but now Rito's going to have to deal with the Skyjacker, but he has to keep switching from offense to defense. He's either attacking Rito or playing defense from Guesty, who's absolutely hounding him. He's having a look on the inside, going through turn 3, but he just can't quite make it out. Homesick Alien ever catching these 3. It's definitely these 3 now, because Big Dan is starting to run away from this pack. We haven't seen Coy for a little bit. He's struggling in 6th at the moment, but he is on the mediums, so he's getting the mandatory tyre out the way, and Mrs. Guesty still in 7th, but I think she'll be a happy girl by the end of this, because it's still going to be a good chunk of points with the small grid. You can see, Skyjacker's now taken second, so he's overtaken Rito at some point. So now he can start chasing down Big Dan. But as we can see, the softs are now starting to lose their best at the moment. So they've still got plenty of grip, but they're not really pulling out the monster laps that we have seen thus far. And now Guesty is having a look at Rito. As he has a look on the inside, is he able to get it through the chicane? Easy does it, boys. Oh, so there was a bit of contact, and there's Homesick Alien out of nowhere. Where did Homesick come from? Where on earth did Homesick come from? He was in the middle of no man's land, and then all of a sudden he was there. Were they going that slow? Yeah, we can see they were just going that slow, making sure they didn't contact, and Homesick Alien completely takes advantage of it. Wow. Absolute wow. Well, goes to show that I'm not keeping my eye on the ball whatsoever. Now, Homesick Alien's having to play defensive with Guesty. They come up to the tight hairpin of turn 1. Let's have a double check. Yep, Big Dan now starting to run away with it. He's just pulled a 57.0. He's holding off quite well with those tyres as well. We're 10 minutes into the race. Skyjacker holding off in second. Rito still holding off for third, but he's been caught by Homesick Alien, and he's been hounded by Guesty as well. And this goes back to what I always say, small grids may not be good for numbers, but they're perfect for action. There's the action up and down everywhere between the top 5 at the moment. Koykamp and Guesty are all on their Billy Bobs at the moment, but one small mistake from the guys up front, and Koy's going to be there on them. I think Mrs. Guesty will be in on the action, but I think she'll just be happy to see the back end of this race with the good chunk of points. So far, Big Dan still holding off in the lead. He's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Sky now, and Big Dan did pull off a little bit of more of a lead there, with Sky doing a 57.8, but he was in the midst of fighting. And as we can see, we've now got a battle for third, the final step of the podium between Rito, Homesick Alien and Guesty, as Guesty's having a look at the inside of Homesick Alien coming through the chicane. Easy boys, easy! Woohoo! Oh, squeaky bum time, and we've gotten through relatively unscathed, we'll say. But wowzers, you don't really want to be doing too much of that by the end of it. So Rito still holding off for third, as Homesick Alien and Guesty are absolutely scrapping it out as we come up to the inside of turn 1. Is he gone too deep? I think he's gone too deep. Oh, Guesty goes wide. Oh, easy boys, easy does it, and there we go, status reset. So Homesick Alien maintains in fourth, and wow, how did Guesty not lose more time out of that? I do not know. He's pushing that Subaru to its absolute limit, trying to find his way past Homesick Alien at the moment, but Homesick Alien really having to dig deep in the defence, because he's got to keep switching from attacking Rito to defending from Guesty, as he's gone too deep into the corner, finds the kitty litter, and he's dropped back a little bit, so he's got all that work to do again. And now Homesick can concentrate on attacking Rito. We feel that he's going to make the move any time now. We'll have a quick look at the front. Skyjacker still hasn't managed to find any time on Big Dan, who appears to be running away with it. But I think they still have to pit. 13 minutes, I think they still have to pit, so it could be anybody's game. Rito still holding off for third. Homesick Alien, I've just realised, has managed to save quite a decent chunk of fuel, so that's probably why he's not going as fast as I feel that he could. Is Homesick Alien attempting a no-stopper, I wonder? That would appear to be on the cards. We're not halfway through the race yet. He's still got more than half a tank of fuel. So I think that Homesick Alien is attempting a no-stopper. We can see that Guesty's right behind him. He's got less than half a tank, so I feel that he will have to pit. And I feel that that might be the strategy of Homesick Alien, of doing a no-stopper, going slightly slower but avoiding a pit. That would be really catapulting up in the standings at the moment, and these two will probably have something to think about. You see, Skyjacker just has less than half. Big Dan's got less than half, so Rito's the worst out of all of them. There we go, Mrs. Guesty has come in reasonably early. To be fair, maybe she's putting on the mediums. She doesn't need much fuel. She could probably get that to the end. You have to feel that Big Dan and Sky are going to have to put the hammer down, because they could probably sense what Homesick Alien might be up to, which is going to be interesting. We'll have a look with Mrs. Guesty. She's put a little bit of fuel in, and she's put a fresh set of tyres. Oh no, there we go. It's a fresh set of mediums, so there we go. I feel that they do have to make the mandatory medium tyre, so Big Dan and Rido will have to pit for the mediums. So now the challenge is on for these two. Can they make a big enough gap between themselves and Homesick Alien to cancel out the pit stop? Because Homesick Alien won't be going as fast as he could. As we can see, that Guesty's got ahead of him, so that's how much Homesick Alien is holding himself back. As we see, we're now 15 minutes in and he's still got over half a tank. But if Homesick Alien is doing the no stopper, you have to wonder, is he going to have the speed to keep Big Dan and Skyjacker behind him once they've pitted for fresh tyres and more fuel, because they'll be able to go full pelt, whereas Homesick Alien will be holding himself back. Now Guesty's having a look at Rido. He's tucked in for the toe. Is he going to have a go coming through the tight first corner? He's having a look on the inside. Rido goes defensive, holds the inside line, holds off Guesty for the time being. Rido going a little bit wide there. Guesty's able to take advantage of it as he slips through on the inside for turn 3. Can he make the move stick, as here comes Rido on the inside, and he's, oh no, wrong way. There we go, and Rido's managed, oh no, yeah, Guesty's managed to get himself ahead of Rido. Now Homesick Alien's made his way through as well. Oh, poor Rido, he loses 2 places in one corner, and now Homesick Alien's having a look at Guesty. I don't think he's really got the, he has got a little bit of a fuel save to maintain attacking procedure, but as we can see, Rido just eases by. I don't think Homesick Alien made him fight for it, probably using him for a tow as well, just to save himself that little bit more fuel, because he'll have to really put the hammer down and find some fuel saving speed at that Subaru when those two pit. So now Guesty up into 3rd. He definitely have to pit, because that fuel is not going to last another 13 minutes as he goes wide. Rido follows him suit, but they managed to avoid it so far. Now Big Dan currently still leading. He does not pit. The Skyjacker, is he going to be the... No, he'll be the second, because it was Mrs. Guesty that pulled him first. But it's the top runners, so which one of the top runners is going to be the first to pull the trigger? Guesty doesn't go into the pits, neither does Rido. Homesick Alien, we predict, isn't going in at all. He's going for the no stopper, and so far it's really making him work for him. Meanwhile, we've got Coy down here in 6th. He is catching that group up a little bit. All that fighting's really going to bring him back into play, and I think is... Whoa! What happened? Did he try the handbrake as well? Sorry, I'm going to have a look at this. Did he try the handbrake? Did he try the Guesty? I'm going to call that now. I'm going to call it the Guesty. Even though it will probably be Big Dan that tries drifting around it. It was Guesty that's first started it. Is he going to have a go at it? Yep, there we go. He tries it as well, and it doesn't work for him. Well, I'm not quite sure why the handbraking around it. I'm not going to lie, but... what do I know? They're doing it. They're just probably having a good laugh out of it, so why not? And Mrs. Guesty as well, who did pitch. She's put on the mediums, so that's the mandatory tyre out the way, and just probably using this as a little bit of a drive. You're going to get some good points out of this, so why not? Have a nice, relaxing, just cruise, my dear. Just cruise and enjoy, I say. Meanwhile, Big Dan currently leading, but is he going to be leading by the end of this, I wonder? I don't think he's got a big enough gap to Homesick in order to get back out in front, but that is to be expected. But the question is, has he got the pace, as well as Sky, have they got the pace to bring it to Homesick Alien near the end of the race when they pit for the mediums. Interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Guesty goes from finds the kitty litter again. There's nothing there, mate. There's nothing interesting in the kitty litter, mate, I assure you there, as Rito's now having a look on the outside. Too wide through the chicane. No, Rito backs off. Oh, he's having a look on the inside, and there we go. Skyjacker has pitted. Now Sky has pulled the trigger. Sky's pulled the trigger. Now we can see the kind of gap he will have between himself and Homesick once he exits. And Coy's going in as well. I think he's going on to the softs. I thought he might have been doing a no-stopper, but I still think he might have the fuel for it, really, to be fair. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. So I feel that Big Dan is probably going to pit at the end of this lap. Rito gets promoted to second. Homesick's promoted to third. But we know he's doing the no-stopper, so he's the one that we're really going to have to keep our eye on. Guesty in fourth. Skyjacker comes out in fifth. Now, we'll see if I can do some clever calculations here. So, let's wait for something significant. So, left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 19, about 20. I'd say about a 20-second gap between himself and Homesick Alien. So somehow Skyjacker's going to have to find 20 seconds worth of pace over Homesick Alien in order to get back into his second place. But you have to feel that it's going to be a tall order for him. Now, does Big Dan come into this? He is going wide. And there we go, Big Dan now coming into the pits for his mediums. You can see, I don't think Rito will definitely have to pit because he is low on fuel. We can see that fuel flashing and a bit of colliding here and there, but all seems fair. And there we go, Rito will definitely have to pit. I don't think he has the fuel to do another lap. Does Guesty pit? No, he does not either so far. Big Dan pulling up to his box, but has Homesick done enough to hold off Big Dan? As I would say that Homesick now leading, he's the target, but is Big Dan going to be able to find the pace out of it? Does he get ahead of Skyjacker? Yes, he does. He maintains his lead over Skyjacker. We know Guesty is going to pit because I don't think that fuel's going to last that much longer. Maybe a lap or two at best. So Big Dan will inherit second. That's pretty much guaranteed. Skyjacker will get third, but the question, it's still a case of can Big Dan catch Homesick Alien? We'll have to keep an eye on the times when they cross the line. Homesick Alien with a comfortable lead, but is he going to be able to hold it off, I wonder? Ooh, do wonders never cease? Will he manage to hang on with his fuel-saving speed and pull off the no-stopper? It is possible, and if anybody can do it, it's definitely Homesick Alien. So that is going to be one to watch out for. Koi Cap as well, he's been in, he's got the softs on, fresh tank of fuel, and off he goes, putting the hammer down. And I think he'll be really racing Guesty, although Guesty's got quite the gap between himself and Koi. I think Koi may have done it. He may just get out in front of Guesty, providing there's no... I'm not going to say it because it will happen, because every time I do say it, something like that happens. So it's a possibility that Koi may steal fourth from Guesty. He's going for the fastest lap at the moment. You can see that Homesick Alien now crossing the line. Guesty still hasn't pitted, but I feel it'll have to be this lap unless he's going to do some very heavy fuel saving, but it'll end up costing him more than anything. As we can see, Big Dan as well He's catching up to Guesty like a rocket with the fresh tyres and plenty of fuel. He can afford to put the hammer down. And Big Dan's really pulled out quite a lead between himself and Skyjacker. So I think Big Dan can only throw it away now, barring no mistakes from Big Dan. It looks like second might be on the cards today. If he puts his foot down, he could catch Homesick Alien. Oh, the tension. Has Homesick Alien done enough to keep that lead for the time being? But as you can see, Coy's just got the fastest lap, 1:56.9. Coy absolutely flying. He must sense that fourth place from Guesty. And see, he's going even faster now. Coy finding the sweet spot in the Subaru. He's really putting the hammer down. And I think he may have done enough, but we will have to see. Rito down in fifth. He's now pitted. He's dropped a fair amount as well. So Rito was doing quite well at the start of this race, but it's all just fallen away from him. And, well, it's still going to be fifth. It's still going to be a good chunk of points at the end of the day as well for Mrs. Guesty, who... well, with 5 minutes remaining, I think that's plenty of fuel. I think that's plenty. But it would appear that today has been all about this man. It looks like he's got the comfortable lead. Where is it? Oh, Big Dan has actually gone ahead of Guesty, and Guesty still isn't pitting. Has he got enough fuel to do another lap? But even then, at the same time, he's leaving it rather late. We can see the Skyjacker is in the background. And there's Coy as well. Coy is absolutely flying. Is he going to get another fastest lap, I wonder? He does. Gets another fastest lap with a 56.5. Coy absolutely gunning for it. Like a salmon in river, I guess? Poor metaphors. I really shouldn't do them, really, should I? Coy absolutely gunning it. He must smell that Guesty is... I'm not sure what Guesty's trying to do. If he's going for the no stopper, he's pulled it off rather late. His fuel's far too low. Surely he couldn't do another... Surely he couldn't last another 3 minutes with the way that fuel's been draining. I wonder if he's put the fuel map down. I think Guesty has put the fuel map down, but is he going to find 3 minutes of fuel with with that amount of fuel left? Is he going to find 3 minutes worth? Oh, is Guesty going to hold off for a third? I doubt it is, because Skyjacker is approaching and fast. So it looks like Coy may not get fourth after all. We know Sky's going to get fourth. That is pretty much a certainty. That's what I'm looking for. English is starting to break now. Mind you, it was starting to break when I started this. Oh dear. It's a bit late for a coffee as well, so not going to happen. So as we can see, Guesty, and he's still not going in. Guesty is absolutely getting every little bit of drop of fuel as he can out of the Subaru, and I think this is going to be their last lap. So has he got enough fuel to last until the end of the race? I don't think he has. He must know he's going to struggle for fuel. Skyjacker is approaching fast. Where is Coy? I don't think... Is Guesty going to run out of fuel before the end of the race? He is pushing it probably harder than what it can do. I sense it's inevitable. The fuel is going to run out. He's going to have to turn the fuel map down if he wants to survive. Skyjacker is hunting him down. It's only going to be a matter of time. We'll have a quick look up here. Homesick Alien, it looks like it's going to be comfortable for him. Big Dan, second on the cards. He's going to be absolutely thrilled with that one. As we can see, has he run out? He's run out of fuel. There it is. I tell you, it was inevitable. Guesty pushing that Subaru as hard as he could, but it wasn't enough, and he's now out of fuel. And Koikap, whoa, comes barreling in, and it looks like the fourth is now his. Guesty must be absolutely livid, but he must have known, surely. He must have known. He didn't have the fuel, and it looks like it's going to be the last lap. Even Rido's managed to get ahead of him now. This is going to be their final lap. Oh, is Homesick Alien going to get a victory lap, I wonder? I wonder if Mrs. Guesty will catch him. Will Mrs. Guesty catch him in time? Oh, that's going to be... We'll have to keep an eye on that one as we come across. Yes, there we go. Homesick Alien. He does get the victory lap. Does Big Dan get the victory lap? No, he does not. Big Dan comes home in second. Well done, Big Dan. Skyjacker coming home in third. He's going to be pleased with another podium. Well done, Sky. Koikap come home in fourth, but he can't believe his luck with Guesty running out of fuel for the Koi of Carp. Rido taking fifth. I bet he didn't think that was going to happen. Is Guesty... I think he's going to get fifth unless Mrs. Guesty gets the warp drive down. Oh, she's running low on fuel as well. So she's just nursing that one home. So it looks like Guesty is going to hold off for sixth. You see him crawling round. I wonder if Homesick Alien is going to lap him. I don't think he will. But it looks like Guesty will be the next to cross the line. And what could have been? What could have been? But there just wasn't the fuel left. He's going to a crawl. He's just crawling it to the line. Oh, he's braked. Is Mrs. Guesty going to... Is she going to take the sixth? No? Or they're trying to cross the line together. I think they're trying to cross the line together, maybe. I'll go back for that. So, Mrs. Guesty does take sixth in the end. Guesty does take seventh. But here we go. This is your winner of race 2, round 9. Winner of race 1. And the winner of race 2 is Homesick Alien. There we go. Don't worry, I'll get your victory thing in a minute. So, Homesick Alien taking both wins and ever increasing that championship gap. I think it's a dead certain now. He's probably got the engravers on speed dial already to get that name on the WRX Challange Season 6 trophy. And I know he's won 1. I don't know if you've won 2. So it could be his second WRX Challenge trophy, which he'll be definitely pleased with that one. Big Dan coming home in second. A podium for the Biggest Daneth. He's going to be thrilled with that one. Just didn't quite have the pace to get to Homesick Alien on the no-stopper. It was a worthy effort, but just wasn't enough. Oh, excuse me. Skyjacker coming home in third. A great third place for him. He was on the attack throughout the majority of this race, and I think he might have been able to get second, but I'm sure he'll still be thrilled with the third. Koikart coming home in fourth. Probably didn't think that one was going to be a certainty, but Guesty running out of fuel opened the door for him. Rido coming home in fifth. A bit of a quiet race for him. It was touch and go at the start. He was really giving a Homesick Alien a good fight with him fuel saving. I'm sure he'll be pleased with the fifth anyway. Mrs. Guesty coming home in a surprising sixth, but I feel that you definitely feel that Guesty gave up the sixth place for her. Can't imagine why, but we will leave your imagination to that one, because this is not the time nor the place, but maybe Mr. Guesty looking for a few brownie points on Mrs. Guesty, and with Guesty as well running out of fuel near the end. It was going to be a touch and go of whether he would survive, but it just wasn't enough. And as I promised, let's go back a little bit more. Let's get that victory photograph for you. Nope. There we go. You can't say I don't do anything for anybody. There we go. The victory picture of Mr. and Mrs. Guesty crossing the line at the same time. I'll give you a different view there. There you go. Tell you what. I've just got a screenshot of that for you guys, so if you want it, just let me know. Hang that up on your wall. There's no shame in it. I've done it 4 times, so there's no shame in it. But there you go. So, what an absolute cracking round. And I think it would be safe to say that congratulations is on the cards for Homesick Alien. Where is he? There he is. Oh yeah, I rewinded it, didn't I? I'll tell you what, here it is. This is really going to bite me if this comes back to bite me. It's going to bite hard, but there you go, ladies and gentlemen, your Season 6 WRX champion in the Repsol liveried Subaru Car 77, and possibly his second VRC WRX Challenge Championship trophy, going to Homesick Alien. I can't see him losing it now, but it may still happen, but I'm saying that that's going to happen now. I'm going to say it. If I am wrong, I am wrong. I will be forever a complete moron for calling it early, but I've done it now, so what's the worst that could happen? And there we go. So next round will be our final round of the WRX Challenge. It is at Spa. It is at the Spa, and I think it's an endurance as well. So nice 60-minute race to see them out of the end of Season 6. I don't know when I will get onto that. Possibly next week, depending on how things goes at work and if I can get this blasted machine sorted. Yeah, I've been literally on a machine all week because it has been a pig. And I'm waiting for a part from New Zealand because it's an imported machine and only they can make the bloody component. Long story. Short story, the drive shaft snapped. And it's a unique part that is not available in this country because nobody knows how to fucking make it. So I'll get onto that when I can. Also as well, we still have round 8 of the Renault Megane trophies to do. I'm going to hit the floor. That is me slamming the floor as hard as I can. I can do it tomorrow. Hang on, isn't it the other way around? Oh yeah, nothing will go wrong. So hopefully I will get it done. And also as well, there is round 1 of the MTCC to do, which I will get onto it soon. I will probably get onto that next week. And I did say I would do it. I can't find race 1, so if anybody has it, muchos gracias. But I will be bringing you a team versus team special as VRC take on GTVS, is it? No, GTSV. GTSV, that is what it is. GTSV. It's a Belgium team, so apparently it was pretty good and enjoyable to watch. And courtesy of several people, they have shared race 2 for me. So if anybody has race 1, I will be happy to do that. I'm happy to do race 2. So if anybody can get that up for me, if anybody has, that would be brilliant, and I will bring it to you. And that will be it for today, because I think I am going to definitely call it, because, excuse me, one is absolutely shattered and I am pretty much desperate for the bed. So I will leave you at that to enjoy the rest of your Sundays. And like I said, we've got the Renault Megane trophies coming up, we've got the MTCC round 1 coming up, and the team versus team coming up. So I certainly hope you've enjoyed this one at the very least. And if you have enjoyed it, give that big thumb up thing, just so that I know that I'm actually doing a moderate job at what I do, just to say, yeah, it was not that bad, mate. I'll quite happily watch more. If you can give me one of those, that will definitely know I'm doing the right job. Hit that subscribe button so that YouTube can do YouTube things, and then YouTube will do its YouTube things, and you know, that sort of thing. And get that little bell on as well, so that you never miss a single little bit of action coming soon to a screen near you. Well, presuming so, if it's a TV in front of you. So, with that, I shall leave you to the rest of your Sunday. I was your broadcaster and commentator, insert comical name here. And remember, your fact of the day is babies become wireless after they're born. So, until we meet again, enjoy your Sunday. I won't. I will be at work. Like the peasant I am. Ta-ra for now.